nervous now because mine's a lot longer than Anna's. Which is kind of typical. For those of you who may not know or will find this hard to believe, I have a history of talking a bit too long at these events. In the last few years, though, I've been working hard to do better and add some editing to the process. I was planning to show restraint again this year, but at a recent varsity game, I began talking with Matt Rumble. And he happened to make some nice compliments about my banquet talks. Matt, you must not have gotten the memo warning people not to encourage me about speaking, lest I become motivated to extend my time at the podium. It's like giving a case of Hershey bars to a chocoholic and expecting him to just eat one a day. Not gonna happen. So, thus encouraged, in addition to the usual player recognitions, I've got a couple stories that I would like to share tonight. And what is a season if not a collection of stories? Stories that in time become our memories. So if my stories stink, or if they happen to go on way too long, remember, I can't help it. If I ramble, blame Rumble. I would first like to thank all of the JV parents for their many contributions to our season. Thanks to all who provided food and snacks for the team, who transported the girls to and from practices and team events, and to our scoreboard volunteers for keeping the bulbs lit all season. Special thanks to Lisa Heck for hosting a killer team dinner and hat making party for the girls, and to Tracy Geringer for sacrificing some of his game watching enjoyment at New Prairie and at the Chesterton tournament by taking on the stressful duty of running Game Changer when we were shorthanded in the dugout. And thanks to every one of you for supporting the team with your presence at each of the games, from Carmel to Lake Central and everywhere in between. Thanks going out to all of our JV coaches, to the JV Gold coaches, head coach Anna and her assistant coaches, former PSB player Dee Reed, who is not here tonight, and new coach this year, Christina Burkham. Great job by all, and much appreciation for all the coordination and cooperation in helping to keep our JV practices on track in our growing program. Special thanks to my two JV black assistant coaches. Former PSB players Lexi Gray in her second year coaching in the program, and Gabby Courtier, who joined us for the first time this spring. I was blessed to be able to coach each of these young women for 2 years at the JV level, then watch them continue to work, improve, progress, and have great success at the varsity level here. They, along with Dee Reed, provide great examples to every one of our JV players of what it takes to persevere and succeed in this program. Their strength as coaches is not only in teaching the physical skills and fundamentals, but also in their ability to communicate, motivate, and to share their experience and insights in all the other aspects of the Penn softball program that made this program great. Lex and Gabby, I can never adequately express how much I enjoyed and how much it meant being able to share the field and the dugout with both of you again this season. It was like old times. As always, much appreciation to Coach Zach for her leadership in this constant pursuit of excellence that we call Penn softball. 16 winters ago, I first met CZ in the athletic director's office at Penn. The AD was a friend of mine who, because our daughters were best friends, had been my assistant coach at Harris for several years. He called and told me it was time to get off the couch and back on the field after a few years being away. So I met with him and with a young coach, Zach, who was frustrated about having JV coaches who left after each of her first 2 years. She just wanted someone who might stay and put down some roots in the program. So the bar for me was pretty low. And I have thus managed to stick around for a while. I didn't say it. Beth, I remain as grateful today as I was back then that you were willing to take a chance on some old man that you had never met. And finally, I am also ever grateful to my wife of 44 years, as of last week, Kimmy. Who for these last 16 years has been a softball widow, having discovered too late that softball season isn't really from March to June, but it's also fall workouts from August to November, winter clinics, open gym starting after New Year's, leading right back into March. So I may have misrepresented my time away from home a bit when I first started this project. Thanks again for being supportive again this year, hon, even when it meant getting ready for 2 movie nights instead of 1. Okay, that was just the thank yous. Already pretty long, I know. Remember, Matt Rumble. All right, on to our season. Expectations are always high here at Penn, from the coaches, from the players, and from the parents. I once had a JV parent tell me at the start of the season, remember coach, win or tie, we support you. I think this season's JV black team would have met even that parent's expectations. We had an outstanding record of 20-3, but the best part was winning the rematch against all 3 of the teams that beat us. As Kaya Geringer said, it's almost like being undefeated, and I agree. Maybe not undefeated, but as I told the team, we can consider ourselves unconquered. Now, before I move on to the player recognitions, I would like to share a story about our team, because I think it illustrates why I am so stinking proud of what these girls have accomplished this year. I read a good quote this spring that said, if you don't learn from failure, that's the real failure. Our girls had a defining moment, 2 innings in the middle of 2 games that would shape the trajectory of our season and how it would be remembered by each of us. We had just lost badly, barely escaping being run-ruled by Crown Point on a Friday night on our field. As Cam McLean said in the post-game huddle, that was a butt whipping. It was our lowest point of the season, but the good news was that we would have an immediate opportunity to play again the next morning against both of our region rivals at the Lake Central tournament. We challenged ourselves that night to come out and prove, win or lose, that we were a much better team than we had just showed. Saturday morning, with great pitching and defense, we fought Lake Central tooth and nail for 6 innings to stay close, but still trailed 3-1 going into the 7th. Then the girls put together what I told them later was a perfect offensive inning. The energy in the dugout was amazing and may have rattled their pitcher. Every at-bat was productive. Our first 2 hitters had great disciplined at-bats and drew walks. A perfect sac bunt advanced them. A line drive single to left scored 1, leaving a runner on first and the tying run on third. A ground ball toward third couldn't score the run, but moved the other runner to second base. Then with 2 outs and runners at second and third, a double to right center gave us a 4-3 lead. More great pitching and defense in the bottom of the inning secured the win. It was quite a bounce back from our Friday night low. Then our rematch with undefeated Crown Point followed. And in the top of the first, our momentum from our final inning against Lake Central carried us to a 4-run first. We then fought tooth and nail again with great pitching and defense for 7 innings to preserve a 4-2 win. Within 18 hours following our worst loss of the season, these girls showed their ability, their spirit, and their grit, leaving town with 2 wins against opponents that had beaten us earlier by a collective score of 17-2. That's what I call learning from and responding to failure. This group of ball players revealed their toughness and their growth as a team that day, and went on to steamroll through the remainder of their schedule undefeated, and in the end, unconquered. So now it's time to recognize each one of these players from the Penn JV Black team. Alrighty, first we'll do the freshmen. Addie Shackford, and girls, when you come up, I talk a little longer than Anna for each one of you, so you can go back to your seats rather than stand up here the whole time. You might get cramps or something. Leg cramps.
Leg cramp. Clear that up. Clear that up, Bart.
Addie Shackelford. Addie is a great teammate who did all the little things that are so valuable for the team. Although she's a catcher first, she also played a lot of first base and outfield and kept our pitchers ready in the bullpen when needed. Her best hitting day was a 2-for-3 game with 2 RBIs against Elkhart, just missing a home run that hit halfway up the fence. Addie, great job for us this season. Thank you so much. And you guys can stand up here until I'm done talking about it. Then you want to come back up for a few minutes?
He's not very good at
All right, next is Cam McLean. This girl has a gun for an arm and played shortstop all season, showing great improvement over the course of the season in her glove work, throwing accuracy, and also with her hitting, finishing strong with several big hits in the second half of the season. Congrats, Cam, on a great season. Next is Izzy Cartwright. Stand up here next to me first.
Okay.
Now, I still like Izzy, even though she beamed me in the knee during the first year. Seriously, Izzy is very talented in many facets of the game. She had a 5-0 record pitching with a no-hitter against Munster. She hit .500 with 0 strikeouts for the season. In our second Crown Point game, Izzy had a 2-out, 2 RBI single that turned out to be our winning runs. She also pitched into the 4th inning in that game. And when I brought Trinity in to relieve her and moved Izzy to right field, the next hitter hit a long fly to right with 2 runners on, and Izzy made a great running catch to keep our lead. So she had her fingerprints all over that win and did a great job all season long. Congrats, Izzy. Chloe Denny.
Wow.
Chloe was thrust into a new position this season, right field, and she worked hard to do an outstanding job, making several long-running catches throughout the season. Chloe also had what I think was one of our most important hits of the season. In that first Crown Point game, we were down 10-0 in the 6th inning. Chloe came up in the 6th for her first at bat of the game and hit a home run to keep us from being run ruled that night. And believe me, that's a big deal. I think it salvaged some pride for us and created some momentum for us going into our rematch the next day. Great job all season, Chloe. Easton Maston. Easton unfortunately had her season shortened by a thumb injury early on that sidelined her for several weeks. But in the meantime, she wanted to contribute any way she could, even if it meant doing game changer. She promised me that if I let her be a courtesy runner, that she wouldn't do anything crazy, like taking chances, diving into bases, etc. She is such a liar. What I learned about Easton is that she only knows one way to play, and that's hard. So she was out there baiting the catcher, taking extra bases at every opportunity, and diving into the bases on every play. Then what we thought was a season-long injury had progressed enough for her to help us in the last couple weeks, so she was able to come back playing first base and outfield, and she also had some big games at the plate. She had a 4-for-4 game against Munster and 2 home runs in her shortened season. Great job, Eve. Emma Chickowitz. As I told Emma during the season, she is a very inquisitive person. Always wanting to know things, being a student of the game, wanting to see what she could do to improve. And I always enjoyed those conversations, if not always your timing, Emma. "Coach, do you think I dropped my shoulder on that last at bat? Did I take the right angle on that fly ball last inning?" "Emma, they've got bases loaded and 2 outs. Can I get back to you on that?" Emma did work very hard this season to improve her fielding and hitting, and after a slow start, she went on a tear mid-season, where it seemed like every ball she hit was a line drive. She had 5 multi-hit games in the second half of the season, including a 5-for-7 with 4 extra base hits in consecutive games against Elkhart, and also had a big double in our second Crown Point game. Great contributions, great season, Emma. Harper Rumble. Now, what I learned about this quiet, polite, unassuming young lady this season is that on the field, she is a fearless, highly competitive, cold-blooded killer. Her consistency at the plate all season was remarkable, and we all enjoyed watching teams bring their outfielders in, thinking slap, and watching Harper hit a deep drive into left center or down the left field line for extra bases. She led the team in on-base percentage at .586, was first in runs scored, tied for second in batting average at .500, second in hits, walks, and RBIs, many in clutch 2-out situations, including a key RBI single in the 7th inning in that win over Lake Central. And she struck out only once all season.
Wow.
That struck you out. I was just going to say that. I don't even remember. Harper had a remarkable day in our doubleheader against Munster early in the season. But I don't know if I've seen a day like this before, but she went 3 for 3 in game 1, 4 for 4 in game 2, including 2 doubles and 5 RBIs. Then when we got to play Munster one more time, when we were added into the Chesterton tournament, she again went 3 for 3 with a triple and 2 RBIs. So I don't think Munster wanted to see any more of Harper. She was a combined 10 for 10 against them this season. If you go to the post office in Munster, Indiana, you will see Harper's picture on the wall with a sign that reads, "Wanted for murder." Harper, congrats on an amazing season. Next is Kennedy Lundquist. Here is another kind, pleasant, always smiling young lady, C, who is also a competitive killer on the field. Kennedy was consistently good leadoff hitter all season long, and also provided some pop, with half of her hits being for extra bases, including 1 home run. She tied for first on the team in runs scored and in steals, going 14 for 14 on the season. Kennedy also unofficially led the team in line drives hit directly at someone. It seemed like 1 a game on average. Defensively, she worked hard all season on footwork, arm angles, and everything else about becoming a good middle infielder, and did a great job for us at second base and shortstop. Great job, Kennedy. Next is Avery Nelson. Avery was outstanding for us offensively and defensively all season. She consistently made all the difficult plays at third base and was one of our most feared hitters, with more than half of her hits going for extra bases, including 3 home runs. She led the team in RBIs with 28, 13 of those with 2 outs, including the game-winning double against Lake Central. In game 1 against Munster earlier in the year, she had 2 home runs, a double, and 8 RBIs. Not a bad day's work. When I say that Avery is a feared hitter, I mean that literally. While base running at third base during a blowout win, Kaya Geringer got hit by a line drive foul ball by Avery. And almost got hit a second time in the same at bat. Kaya's next time on base, rather than advance from second to third on a ground ball, stayed at second, because she didn't want Avery using her for target practice again. Avery, great season. Okay, sophomores. First up is Emma Pratt. Oh, okay. Well, Samantha's here, so congratulations on Emma's season. She played 4 games for us, went 7 for 11, and then got called up to varsity. So we loved having Emma with us for that short time, and are looking for big things from her in the future for Penn softball. Next is Kendall Courtney. She's another fine young lady with many talents. She had a 2-0 record in her pitching starts and several other solid relief appearances. Kendall also plays in the outfield, has a gun for an arm, and was outstanding at the plate as well, hitting .440 for the season, including a 4-for-4 day against Elkhart. She survived a line drive off of her right arm early in the season, and also survived the embarrassment of showing up to one of our weekend home doubleheaders with 2 left shoes. But she had 2 right ones at home, and fortunately she only lives right across the street from the ballpark, so that worked out okay. Kendall, you're a great teammate, great person, and you had a great season. Thank you so much. Kaya Geringer. Kaya is our spark plug, full of life and energy, super competitive, and was a great leader on our team this year. She plays center field with hustle and reckless abandon, and plays on offense the same way when she isn't hiding from Avery. Kaya was second on the team in on-base percentage at .560, led the team in walks, and tied for first in stolen bases. Half of her hits were for extra bases, including 2 triples and 2 home runs. Great job, Kaya. Anna Heck. Anna pitched often, was second most in innings pitched for us this year, but she only started a few of those games and had a 3-0 record as a starter. She pitched in 11 games for us, but more often in a relief role. She had a team best ERA of 0.84 and threw a no-hitter against Mishawaka. Wow. In that game, she also went 3 for 3 at the plate and showed off her speed with an inside the park home run. Anna is an amazing teammate and will take on any role that will help the team to win. Congrats on a great season, Anna. And next is Kendall Moret. Kendall did so much for this team this year. She was a great leader on and off the field, handled most of the catching duties all season, threw out the majority of runners daring to steal on her, and continually made big plays to help us win throughout the season. Kendall led the team in batting average at .522, led us in doubles with 9, and tied for first in home runs with 3, including a towering drive over the scoreboard at Carmel into the wind, which was a sight to behold. She had 3 hits in our win at Crown Point and started the winning rally against Lowell with a double, followed that up with a home run in the next inning. So, Kendall, great season, consistent greatness all year long for you. Congratulations. And finally, we come to Trinity Culp. Trin has worked extremely hard during her time at PSB those last 2 years to make herself a better pitcher and ball player. This season, she emerged to lead us in wins with 7, was first in strikeouts, second in ERA, and she also had a no-hitter against Carmel, 1 walk, one pitch away from a perfect game. Do we not want to relive that? No. And had just an outstanding season. Trin plays every second on the field with an intensity and a game face that says, "I'm coming for you." This manifests itself in how she receives the ball back from the catcher whenever there's a runner on base. I kind of call it the Trin hop and glare. So wherever the runner is, there's a runner on first, it's going to the ball back, and as she's catching it, every time. It's awesome. I don't even think you know you're doing it. Oh, okay. Anyway, Trin, you've been a great leader for us and had a great season. Congratulations. Okay, and now we have our individual awards. As Anna said, these are voted for by the team. Most Improved Award, Emma Chikowitz. Okay, our mental attitude, as was defined earlier, Kennedy Lundquist. And finally, for our MVP, again, someone who just did it all for us all season long, Kendall Moret. All right. Congratulations. I'm looking for Zach. I give my team a sign like this when I want them to walk off second base, because we need to make an out because the other team's not getting us out. And I told Zach if this was getting ridiculous to just give me this, and I would know, but I don't see her, so I'm oh, there you are.
Oh.
You're hiding behind base. Am I good?
You're good.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for bearing with me, but I wanted to talk about this team a lot tonight because, again, I'm just so proud of all of them for what they are and for what they've accomplished this season. This was a very memorable season for me, and I hope for all of you ladies as well. So congratulations to all of you, JV Black, and congratulations also to JV Gold on a great season as well. Okay. That said, I have one more story. This is directed to our varsity girls, but it's something that I wanted the JVs to hear as well. Remember, Matt Rumble encouraged all of this. I wanted to tell this to these girls in January when these things happened, but we stopped having practices together, and it would have been so much easier to tell then, so I hope I can get through it okay now. But I had a couple interactions within a couple days in January, both that reminded me of why I'm so proud to be a part of Penn softball. Proud of the leadership of Coach Zach, of the culture here, and the student athletes that make this such a great environment and a great experience for all of us. I wanted to tell the whole team this story earlier, but couldn't, so here we go. It started first when I saw an Instagram photo posted by a former Penn softball player who also came back to the program and was my assistant JV coach for 5 years, Aubrey Layers. It was her daughter Elena's 4th birthday. When I looked at the picture, I noticed something on the wall above Elena's bed that caught my eye. It was a Penn softball poster. So I wrote to Aubrey, "Love the poster, you're raising them right." Aubrey responded, "She knows most of the lineup and I'm not kidding." That was all her. Her favorites are Olivia, Ava, and Logan. She has a doll somewhere named Rumble. Too cute, I wrote back. She named it Rumble. Does Logan know this? Said, yup, she did, and no, Logan has no clue, haha. Elena was a huge fan of Olivia last season, she wrote. I have a video of Elena pitching and crediting Olivia. She said she showed that to you. She knows Olivia's going to Toledo too. And for Ava, Elena always sings the Go Ava, Go song, or cheer. She knows Ava's going to ND, and Elena knows that Logan is going to the Purple School. She will often, in a sports announcer's voice, go through the lineup and say, Zachary, Olivia, Rumble. Aubrey continued. Beth wished Elena a happy birthday on Facebook. I was telling Elena all the people who wished her a happy birthday, and when I got to Beth, I said, Coach Zach said happy birthday, and she about cried. Ava, where's Ava? Can you imagine the impact it must have had when you chose Elena to play catch with you that game? I think that was such a kind gesture, and I'm sure it had a huge impact on that little girl. I know there are so many other girls out there who want to be just like all of you, who have their posters and their dolls, and for whom you are the inspiration as they practice and play their game. And I know you're meeting many of them at camp this week, which is pretty cool. It's such a credit to all of you for not just how you play the game, but for your actions on and off the field, and for the role you play in our community as leaders and great examples for all those little ones. So, a couple days after this conversation with Aubrey, I had another pen encounter, this time at the mall. You see, now that I'm advanced in age, I've become a mall walker. This day, I was wearing my pen jacket unzipped with my Purdue sweatshirt underneath. And as I was winding through the aisles at Macy's, coming toward me was our super fan, Andrew, and his dad. I wasn't going to say anything because I had never met Andrew and was sure he didn't know me. But as they got close, Andrew said loudly, Purdue! And then his dad said, and look, Penn too. After a few seconds of conversation, Andrew said, you're Coach Barncourt, which shocked me. And then I noticed that around his neck, in the middle of winter, just shopping at the mall, Andrew was wearing his softball state champion ribbon.
Aw.
And he shared with me how proud he was when the team gave him that ribbon that night. And I thought, I knew he wore this to our games, but now I wonder if he ever takes it off. He spoke with such joy about that night, about us winning and then receiving the ribbon. And it made me so proud of all of you for including him the way that you did and the way that you do, and for giving him this gift that will be important to him for the rest of his life. And I watched on Saturday as this little red-headed senior, who just finished crying her eyes out, gathered herself enough to talk to Andrew, who had come over again, including him at the most difficult of times. And Izzy, that was a cool moment. So, underclassmen, I want you to be inspired by this going forward. Pick up the mantle of responsibility as a member of a team, playing for the name on the front of the jersey, and as a member of a community that wants to look up to you. These two small events in the middle of winter were a big reminder to me of the impact you all can make as members of Penn softball. And that being proud of Penn softball goes way beyond wins and losses. Thank you, all of you seniors, for your leadership. Best of luck to all of you as you go on and continue to do big things. And God bless each one of you. I love all of you guys.